kiddos, welcome to another class with Mrs. Parris. We're going to look at our coins again today. You know all your coins, but let's say them together. Let's go ahead and say all their values and their names the way we like to do. Penny, 1 cent, nickel, 5 cents, dime, 10 cents, quarter, 25 cents. Now you may hear some music. Do you hear some music? Kind of mysterious music. That's because I have a book today about treasures. And if you see in the background of these treasures, you see coins from other places. Wouldn't you like to know all about the treasures all around the world? Well, we're going to look at some of those treasures today. So if you'll sit tight and look, you'll really enjoy this book. I have marked some pages of specific things I want to show you. I want you to look at some of the coins from other countries from a long time ago. These are Arabian coins from Arabia. Wow, check out those coins. Aren't those interesting? Here's some other stuff of theirs too. Treasures. Treasures worth so much money. Check out these very old coins. These were some of the earliest coins, long time ago. These are almost 3,000 years old, almost 3,000 years old. Now, how did they make these beautiful coins? They're actually made of gold or metals. Look at how they do it. Long time ago, they would melt a pot, melt the metal, and pour it out. Look how boiling hot it is. This is so hot, you could tell because it's turned red and orange, and the liquid inside is almost a fluorescent yellow. It's so hot, you could not touch that. You could not touch that. They pour it into molds. It looks like they're making a gold brick right there. But isn't that neat? That's how they would make it. They would stamp something into it to tell what kind of gold it was, what kind of a coin it was. Our coins are not made of gold because if they were, people would melt them all together. I thought this was an interesting page. This does not have to do with coins, but look at these beautiful jewels. Let's look at these. These are really pretty. Emerald is the green, beryl, scheelite, apatite, ruby, phospholite, topaz light, what we call topaz, amethyst, it's kind of purple. Look at all those beautiful jewels. Of course, we know what pearls are. Ooh, a garnet. Don't forget the garnet. And look, this is a real, honest to goodness king's crown. This is the British crown. It has over 2,000. It has 2,868 diamonds. It's topped by a sapphire, first worn by the King Edward in 1042. The giant ruby belonged to Abu Said, ruler of Granada, present-day Spain. This is a beautiful crown. Look at all those jewels. Look how tall. Can you imagine how heavy that was? Had to be super duper heavy. Isn't that beautiful? Don't you love looking at stuff like that? Just the beauty of it, just the sheer beauty. I wanted to show you this coin. This is in Ecuador. Ecuadorian coin. Looks much different than our coins, doesn't it? Now, you may have heard of sunken treasures, and you know what? There really are sunken treasures under the ocean. There really are. But they could be way down. This is a picture of a boat on the top. This is a drawing. And how a boat would be located on the bottom using sound or sonar and echoing to find where lost boats are to see if there might be some treasures. Here's someone diving under the ocean looking for treasures. Let's see if I can flatten this picture out a bit. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Boy, think of all the things you can find. There's an old ship, like would have been from a long time ago. Here's an old U.S. coin from 1911, a golden coin. That's over 100 years old. That's pretty old, isn't it? Coins are an important part of history. That's why I wanted to share them with you. And this book is full of lots more treasures. You can find books like these at the library that tell you all about lost treasures, lost things from a long time ago, things that have been left behind and what they're worth. This even has a picture of a violin, a Stradivarius, that is worth over $3.5 million. Yes, I did say million. That's amazing, isn't it? Yes. Well, it's important to know our own coins, and we actually only have 4 that we actually use often. There are more coins. There's half dollars and whole dollar coins. We don't see them very often, so we don't have to worry about them as much. Let's talk about the worth of these. What's a penny? 1 cent. What's a nickel? 5 cents. What's a dime? 10 cents. What's a quarter? 25 cents. It's fun to say them all in order, and it keeps them straight, but what if we switched them up? What if we put them out of order? Would you still remember them? What's that top one? Shout it out. Yep, 25 cents. What's this one? It's not the smallest, it's a medium-sized silver one. Yep, 5 cents. Are you shouting it out? What's this one? 10 cents. What's this one? 1 cent. You mix them up. Do you still remember? You need to remember. If you had quarters, you would count by 25, which would be 25, 50, 75, 100. 25, 50, 75, 100. How many quarters does it take to make $1? 4, that's right. If you had nickels, how would you count? You'd count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. If you had dimes, how would you count? By 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. If you had pennies, how would you count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how you'd count. Now I have a little stack of numbers. We're going to do these very quickly. We're going to find the before and after numbers for each of these. Okay? We've done this before. If your number is 25, what number would come before? 24, right? 24, 25, 26, right? Did you know that? Good. Let's try another one. This should be easy. If your number is 4, what number comes in front of 4? That's right, 3. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Let's do our next one. Ooh, another 20s number. What number is that? What? Yep, 27. What number comes in front of 27? 26. 27, 20, 28. 26, 27, 28. Very good. All right. Now we did a few of those numbers. You know what we're going to do? We're going to switch up. And I want you to pause this video. And I want you to go and get your... Oh boy, I think I dropped it. I want you to go get your number chart, your hundreds number chart, and I want you to get your clock, your green clock that Miss Parris gave you, okay? All right. Remember the green clock? Oh, yeah. This is your friend, the green clock. Remember your toothpicks here? Okay, you should have paused the video. If you haven't paused the video, you need to go pause it and find your green clock and bring it back in front of you so you can work on this. Okay? All right, here we go. Once you take your little toothpicks out. Now, remember the short one is Mr. Hour, and I actually have that right here for us to remind us that the short one is Mr. Hour. He always goes first. He always goes first. So make sure that when you tell time, you always tell the short one. Now, if you're looking at my sticks, this one is the short one, right? He always goes first. The number you see is the number you will put this on first. The first number is the first small hand. And Minute Mouse is the long hand, and it always goes second. So I'm going to put it over here because it's second. The time we're going to do first is 1 o'clock. So once you take Mr. Hour, the short stick, you put his one side here, and then once you point at 1. Okay? Now, that says 1. Now, how do we say the o'clock part? Yep, we use the other stick and we point it straight up. 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Did you do that? Good. Now, let's do another one. Let's do one a little harder. Let's do 3:30. 3. You hear 3 first? Mr. Hour goes first. He's the short one. Put the short one on first. 3:30. How do we say 30? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Should be pointing straight down at the 6. Straight down is always 30. 3:30. All right, let's do another one. Let's do 10:30. Use Mr. Small Hand first, Mr. Hour. 10 is what you hear first. That's what you point at first. 10. Long stick. 30. 10:30. Are you doing this with me? Okay. Let's do another one. Let's do 8:15. What number do you hear first? 8. All right. What number do you hear second? 15. 5, 10, 15. 8:15. That's easy. I'll pick up your toothpicks again. Remember, Mr. Hour goes first. Let's do another one. 7 o'clock. Mr. Hour is the short one. You hear 7 first, so we're going to point to that first. 7 o'clock. Point straight up to o'clock. 7 o'clock. Look at there. You did it. Let's take it, the 7, and leave it there. Let's do 7, 15, 5, 10, 15. Let's do 7:30. 7 stays. 30 goes straight down. Now let's do another one that's a little trickier that we have not gotten used to yet, but we need to. Let's do 7:45. It is our other point that we need to get very used to knowing is when this big hand points straight over to the 9. That's 45. 7:45. 7:45. If you need proof, you can start here and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 7:45. Straight up is o'clock, straight over is 15, straight down is 30, straight over is 45. O'clock, 15, 30, 45. Why don't you take Mr. Hour off? Okay? Let him rest. Let's put him over to the side. Rest, Mr. Hour, and have some fun, okay? Let's just use Minute Mouse. Point Minute Mouse straight up. What does that say? O'clock. Point it straight over to the 3. What's that say? 15. Point, minute, mouse straight down. What's that say? 30. Point, minute, mouse straight over to the 9. What's it say? 45. Minute hand always is counting by 5. Short hour hand is always just pointing at the number and just telling the number you see. Minute mouse is harder to tell because you have to count by 5s. I know it's tricky because sometimes we look at these and we say, oh, it's 1, 2. That's the time is 1, 2. No. You say this number that it's pointing to and this number by counting by 5s. Okay, minute mouse is always counting by 5s. Can you say that out loud? Minute mouse is always counting by 5s. Say it again. Minute mouse is always counting by 5s. Mr. Hours just tells what he sees. He doesn't do any extra work. He just tells what he sees. And you always tell him first. Now, if you have gotten your clock out, that's great. I want you to go ahead and put your toothpicks back in the bottom. Have Mom call out a few more times for you to do on your own. Maybe she'll be more tricky than Mrs. Parris. All right, let's get out your number board. Remember this little guy? We did this just the other day. I'm going to take my board and I'm going to switch it with the one I usually use. You should have one that's this color. If you don't, you can go online and find a hundreds chart. They're all over the place, and print one off for yourself. And get 3 small things. Okay, if you need to pause this again, pause it. You need your hundreds chart and 3 small things. I got 3 little candy corns that were in my closet, probably stale as can be because they're at the very, very bottom. All right, we're going to find a number, its before number, and its after number using this number chart today. So if you would please pause the video and get ready. I've got back up so we can see this whole number chart here. All right, the first number we're going to do is, let's start with the 90s number. Let's start with 94. What number do you hear first? 9. What number do you hear in a second? 4. So you're going to look down in the 90s family. 94. Here it is, 94. Put your little small thing on 94. Now, Mrs. Parris will ask, what is your before number? Well, if the number you're looking at is 94, your before number is the number that comes in front of it. 93. So you're going to put a piece there. 93, 94. What's your after number? 95, right? Good. All right, let's try another one. Let's try number 12. 12 is right up here. Ooh, my charts just fell. 12. Let's put a candy or whatever you have on 12. This is the number I asked you to find. Is it on there? Okay. Now I want you to put your next thing on the before number. What number comes before 12? Well, 11 comes before 12. What number comes after 12? After means the next number. After 12. 13, of course. So our roundup is 11, 12, 13. Let's try another one. Let's try one that's a little harder. Let's try 40. Okay? Here is 40. Yeah, we see how this is trickier now, huh? What's your before number for 40? 39. 39, 40. Well, wait a minute. We're at the edge of the chart. Well, that means we have to go to the next line. 41. Okay? So you should have 39, 40, 41. Okay? Let's do 37. 37. 37. Okay? What is your before number? 36. What is your after number? 38. Do you see that? All right, let's do another one. Let's do 10. Let's go up here in the corner and choose 10. What's your before number of 10? That's easy. 9. 9, 10. Wait a minute. What's your after number? All the way over here. 11. 9, 10, 11. Okay, this time I'm not going to show you the number. This time I'm going to let you look for it first. I want you to find the number 64. I want you to put one of your things on it. Okay, now I want you to put one of your other things on the number that comes before 64 and the number that comes after 64. So you should have 3 squares covered up. Did you do it? Let's see if you got what I got. 64. Before, after. So you should have on 63, 64, 65. Let's do another one. 48. Go ahead and put a piece on 48. Alright, then put a piece on the one before and the one after. And it wouldn't hurt you to say them out loud. Good. So we're going to put it on. Goodness, I think it was 48. I don't remember now. 47 would be your before number, and 49 would be your after number. And if I got those wrong, I'm sure I will hear from you. Might have been a 30. Sometimes I get confused myself. All right, let's do one last one. Okay, I want you to look for the number 70. Okay. What's your before number? What's your after number? 70. Before number and after number. That's a good review right there. Okay? Try to keep those straight because that's where we get messed up a lot. It sure is. Okay, if you've done all of this, and I'm sure you have, and you did a great job, I want you to put your hundreds chart and your clock aside, and I would like for you to get out a piece of paper. So once again, pause the video and get out a piece of paper. Miss Parris is going to use her board. We are going to draw, all right? So you need to get your piece of paper and your pencil and get ready to draw. All right, here we go. Let's draw a cat today, okay? We all like cats. Well, not everybody, but I like cats. Okay, first we're going to start with a nice kind of upside down triangle face. Okay, did you do it? Then we're going to give it kind of a triangle body. Good. Now, no cat is complete without some cute little ears, is it? Let's give it some little ears. Isn't it cute? Let's give it a couple paws right here in the front. One paw and 2 paws. It's sitting up looking at you, you know. We'll put some little paws on the bottom like this. Okay. Now let's give it a nice longish curlish tail. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and make my trace around the edge of it. Let's make it look like a real tail. How's it going? Are you doing it? Is it cute? Well, we have some things missing with our cat, haven't we? I'm going to give it these inside of its ears. Okay, all done. Cute cat, right? What? Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right. You're right. It needs whiskers. I should have remembered the whiskers. All right. all done. Isn't it? Wait a minute. It needs eyes. Let's see. Almost looking mouse-ish, isn't it? It needs something else to make it look not so much like a mouse. It needs a nose and maybe a mouth. That's a little J this way and a little backwards J that way. Then you can name your cat. I'm going to name my cat. I'm going to name it Peterson. I don't know why. I always thought that'd be a fun name for a cat. Peterson. Peterson the cat. And if you wanted to, you could give it some little stripies. A little bit of stripes on its head too. Alright, now you've got a cat. Yep, you've got a cat. You've made yourself a cat and you've done a good job. Alright, I will see you later and we will do all of this again. Have a good evening.